My name is Chris Foskett. I've got Australian Terriers and I have 5 at the present time. They range from nearly 14 down to 5 months. I do show. We don't do agility, though I'd love to do agility, but Christy is the most agile, but unfortunately if you let her go you'd never see her again. And basically showing, walking and having a lot of fun. That's what I do with them. They're great. Basically they should be a low slung dog that's quite long and doesn't lick everything they see. Basically they're long bodied and they should be in proportion. You know, they shouldn't sort of be too long with short stumpy legs. They should be quite long but quite kind of sturdy, if that makes sense. They should have a long neck, okay, erect ears, top knot, and this is what we call the ruff. They should have cat-like paws, and basically the tail should go up and over. When they were docked like these, but these I've only got 2 that are docked. I stopped docking years ago because I didn't like it. They're just upright like she is here. And the colours are blue and tan and red. Now you can have 2 kinds of red. You can have a sandy like Christy and Lottie, who are here, and you have the deeper red like Wade and Gertie. They were bred for the strangest things. They're actually bred for guarding. They used to go down the coal mines, okay, in Australia, because they were a small dog. They used to go down the coal mines, and they are a bit yappy because of it. So you have to watch that with them. If you want one, you have to try and prevent all yapping, okay. They also were bred for ratting, but most of all the ruff, which is the interesting bit here, that is for snakes. And if you have a hose in your garden, an Australian Terrier is quite interesting because you watch them actually jump around, and they skillfully, and they are very skillful, they attack the hose. We've gone through so many hoses, it's untrue. They're also actually were bred to go with the cattle dog across Australia. And they kept the camps clean. So there are pictures, and I'd love to see one, of them round the cowboy's neck. They're very agile. They can jump from the ground onto that table without having to run at it. And they are known to be able to jump off very high places. And I think that's because they used to be on the horses and they'd just jump off and run off. And that's basically what they were bred for. They were brought over by people trying to make a sturdy, strong dog. And they were brought over from all the Scottish breeds. So in them you can see dandies, you can see cairns, and I think the Yorkie was brought in ever so slightly to give them the colour, but there's no proof of that. They're superb, absolutely superb temperament, and I suppose everyone's going to say that. Everyone's going to say that about their dogs. They're very loyal to every member of the family. They're not one of these dogs that just pick on one person and stick with them. They'll like you because you take them for walks. They'll like someone else because they can sit on their lap and watch telly. That's basically what they're like. They are lively. They are terriers. You do have to watch them. Anyone who has a terrier will tell you that terriers can go schizo for no reason at all. You know, that they're just what they are. But I think the Australian Terrier is probably a bit easier to train. I think they're a bit less scatty than some terriers. I think that's the best way of putting it. They're very, very good at obedience, and they're known for it. And in fact, some people have actually trained them to the gun as well. So because they won't just go and chomp everything they see, they'll come back and give it to you when they feel like it. I've got 2 that are brilliant with other animals, and my boy can be very funny, but he's a stud dog, so I think that's one of those things. But I would say on the whole I can bring dogs into this house and they are very good with them. They're very good, and they're brilliant with children. They really are brilliant with children. They're well known for that. I think because they're small, I think because they're lively, I think because they're intelligent, they get on very well with children. They're great fun, and they're sympathetic. They're very good at picking up on things. Very good. If you're not well, they know. If you're worried about something, they know. They're very intuitive. They're very clever that way. I think they are all right on their own. I would never advise leaving a dog for more than 3 hours anyway. I work and my husband works, but they're never left for more than about I'd say 4 hours maximum. I think dogs do like company. I do believe that. And I think that most dogs like another dog around. But having said that, there are dogs that Christy, she would have been quite happy as an only dog because she likes being the centre of attention. So she would have been very happy as an only dog. But I think that's just her. That's her character. But they love the company of humans. They absolutely love the company of humans. You've got to remember they are a terrier. And terriers, as I said before, can be scatty. It's a terrier instinct, and that's why some people just don't like them, basically. But they are very busy little dogs. They'll want to know what you're doing. They will dig up your garden. So if you're very house proud and your garden is your life, probably they're not for you, unless you're prepared to have a bit in your garden for them to go in. They do dig. They chase squirrels. They're nosy. I think you need, my personal opinion is, if you want an Australian Terrier, and if that's what you think, you need to be able to take them out. You need to be able to have time to be with them, because that's the most important thing. The most important thing to an Australian Terrier is humans. If you have a cat, the cat will be the boss. There's no doubt about it. A cat will be the boss. But I would never say, for instance, I would never bring Wade or Lottie or one of the older ones in with the cat. I don't think it would work. But a puppy would be very good with a cat, and there's loads of instances of it. They do chase, and they're frog killers. That's mine are frog killers. So they are typical terriers in that way. You know, they will play to kill stuff. That's one thing. And baby birds, you've got to be prepared for that, because people get very upset when they see that. But that's terriers. Terriers do that, unfortunately. But I think mostly with them, the most behaviour is they're busy and they're nosy. Very nosy and very busy. They do love good long runs. Equally, they don't mind just going around the block and coming back and snuggling up with you. So I think they're very adaptable in that way. I advise good long walks, but equally, when I don't feel like it, they don't go for good long walks. You know, they just go around the park or around the field, and then we come home and they'll slob for the rest of the day. They don't like rain. You'll never get them out in the rain. I always advise you take them to training classes. Any dog, I think any dog needs obedience, because the last thing you want is your dog running out in front of a car, or you taking them out for a walk and you can't get them back. Having said that, I've done it with Christy and I still can't get her back, so you know, that's Christy. They're an intelligent breed. They will think for you, so they do need stimulation. They're always interested in food. They're always interested in food. Well, mine are. We train them for the ring with tidbits and things like that. Toys, not so really, because being terriers, they tend to destroy their toys, so we don't have them for long. But food orientated, definitely. And also kindness. When you're training them, I think that they'll do anything to please you. They're not just the only breed that does that, but they'll do anything to please you. That's what they want to do. That's what they're here for. Australian Terriers do need grooming, but they don't shed hair, they don't molt, so you won't get great clumps of hair after them. They don't tend to smell. What you do need to do with them is a hand strip, and I know that could put people off, but there is an item out there called a Coat King, and it's a great implement, and if you just comb through the dog's coat with it, it will take out the dead hair. As showers, we'd never use it. We do hand stripping and use stripping knives. You need to keep here clean. You need to keep this part, because they can get very hairy here. So you need to get all that, and keep their nails down, because that's important for any dog, to keep their nails down, and their ears clear of hair. That's quite important as well. But apart from that, they don't need, you don't need to clip them, or you don't need to do heavy cutting like you do with some dogs. You just need, it's just a bit of hand stripping, all this coating, keep them brushed, keep their paws free, and then you've got quite a tidy little dog. We don't tend to have problems. There have been instances of diabetes, there have been instances of epilepsy, but no more or no less than any other breed. We don't tend to get huge problems. I had one earlier this year that died of cancer, but then that happens to humans too. That just happens. You're a bit unlucky in that way. They're quite a strong dog in that. Belle is 14 and she's actually just had hepatitis, and we don't know how she got it. We can only assume it's birds in the garden. And she was actually on death's door, and within 24 hours of the right treatment, at that age she was up again, and she was running around, and she was back to normal and demanding food, which tells you how hardy they are. Health problems, thank God, we have not got. But we, as a breed, we keep an eye on it. We monitor it. We don't have to have any screening like some breeds. But what we do have is we have the health questionnaire, and basically we send it out to new owners and things like that. So, you know, if they want to fill it in, and any concerns they might have, you know, that's how we do it. We keep in touch with our owners. Most of us know who we sell our puppies to, because we're such a small breed, and we do tend to keep in touch. That's one thing about this breed, is that people who have pets aren't just let go. They're very much part of it, very much part of the Aussie family, and we are very close-knit, very close-knit. So health problems, thank goodness, no. If you're thinking about getting a puppy, go to the club secretaries, go online to the Kennel Club, and they will give you the addresses and phone numbers of the club secretaries. Don't go over the internet. Do not buy without seeing. Even in our breed, there are unscrupulous breeders who will just breed for cash crops. What you want is someone who has been in the Australian Terrier game for a long time, because what we do is we look at the pedigrees, and we know our dogs, and we know any potential problems there could be. And that's why I think we've kept them so health-free. It's because we know if a dog has had a problem, it's out. You know, the breeding is shut down, and that has happened. That has happened. And that's what I think you should do. Go to the club secretaries. They know who the good breeders are, and they will tell you, and they will do anything to help you. But also, you've got to be prepared to wait. People are these days, it's very, I want it now. And unfortunately, with Australian Terriers, that's not what you get. If you go on a waiting list with a breeder, that breeder will make sure you'll get a puppy. But it can be 6 or 8 months, because a lot of us do not breed. I haven't bred for 4 years, 5 years. Next year is the first time probably I'm going to breed again. And a lot of us are like that, even our top showers, top breeders. We don't breed every 6 months. I think they're a delightful breed, and I think once you get one, it's very unusual for people to go to another breed afterwards. Most people who have Australian Terriers stick with them. We have a lady in our breed who is in her 80s, and she got her first Aussie in her early 30s, and she's still got Aussies today. And I think that's what basically they're like. They're quite addictive.